Greetings, my name is James T. Griffin, and welcome back to the QuantumUnity of CARALOT channel. And this is the QuantumUnity of CARALOT Podcast, episode 4. Now, before we get into episode 4, if you have not yet familiarized yourself with the 30 portals of spiritual sovereignty, I highly encourage you to do so. And you can do that through the previous videos on this channel, as well as investing and reading the book, Spiritual Sovereignty, A Path to Unity Consciousness. Because all these podcasts will make much more sense when you familiarize yourself with those 30 portals of spiritual sovereignty. And remember, the 30 portals of spiritual sovereignty have been established in that order in order for us to create organized unity consciousness. Remember, more of us are waking up from the memory loss that we are sovereign spirits from the spirit realm. We're not humans from Earth. That is the illusion that's been pressed upon us for a long time. So we are sovereign spirits from the spirit realm having a multi-dimensional Earth realm experience, and we chose to come to the Earth realm to fulfill a divine life purpose. And the QuantumUnity of CARALOT is providing you with tools, and more of them will become available as time goes on, to help you to fulfill, maximize, and optimize your divine life purpose. The whole reason why you chose as a sovereign spirit to come here in whatever human form that you have taken on in this lifetime. And great news, more of us are waking up to remember that we are sovereign spirits. And as more of us wake up, we're coming to realize we have to organize. We have to come together, because it's only when we come together in a highly organized manner that we can create the new systems that are built upon love and unity consciousness. Remember, a lot of the old systems are starting to crumble. Education, healthcare, media, and even the entertainment are all starting to crumble. And as time goes on, they are going to be replaced with new systems that are built upon love and unity consciousness. So that's what the QuantumUnity of CARALOT is doing, is to helping us to form the organized unity consciousness, and already has some of the framework for these new systems that will replace the old. So let's get on to the QuantumUnity of CARALOT podcast, episode 4. And today, the subject is intuition. Now, in the 30 portals of spiritual sovereignty, if we go to portal 21, and portal 21 is, as sovereign spirits, we acknowledge intuition as a natural sense, just as important as our 5 basic earth realm senses. So in the old paradigm, in the old systems, intuition is a very nebulous, vague concept, and it's often referred to as a sixth sense. Well, in spiritual sovereignty, the QuantumUnity of CARALOT acknowledges that as sovereign spirits, intuition is actually our first primary sense, and our 5 human senses are secondary. The 5 human senses are pretty important for us to be able to navigate this earth realm and fulfill our divine life purpose. However, those are secondary. As sovereign spirits, we acknowledge intuition is our first primary sense. So intuition is sometimes referred to as ESP, and that acronym stands for extrasensory perception. So the word intuition, by the way, has a root, and that root word is intuit, I-N-T-U-I-T. And intuit just generally means it's an inner knowing. You know and have impressions about something, but you have not gathered any information in your external perception, in the external world, to be able to recognize this. This is an inner knowing, and this comes from our direct connection to the collective consciousness, which was the focus of the previous podcast episode. So if you haven't watched that one, I highly encourage you to do so, because it will help you to recognize and strengthen your personal connection with the collective consciousness. Again, it's something we all share, and the connective consciousness works very parallel to the wireless internet, but you can look at it more as a multidimensional spiritual internet, invisible internet that we all share and connects us all as sovereign spirits. So again, intuition, our first primary sense. Remember, intuition is a tree with many branches. And I'm just going to share a few of the many branches of intuition. One of them is being able to sense someone else's emotional energy. So this is often referred to as empathy. So many identify with the label, oh, I'm an empath, I'm very sensitive. And they often talk about it like it's a weakness, like something's happening to them. So the clients that I've worked with over the years, I've helped them to remember that they are sovereign spirits, and their sensitivity to this energy can either be a weakness or a strength. So working with me, I help them to cultivate it as a strength. Remember the quote from Max Planck, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So empathy, being aware of others' emotional energy, is not a weakness, it's a strength. You have to understand how it works and why it works, and how to be proactive with your emotional energy in order for it to become a strength. So that's something I personally train my clients, and this is going to be some of the upcoming Educare that's replacing education, by the way, CARALOT's Educare system for the adult experience, male, female, teens, children, and there's a lot more coming as well. So being able to sense others' emotional energy, not emotions, emotional energy. Remember, the QuantumUnity of CARALOT is creating a lot of new language, a lot of new terms, because in order for us to create the new systems, we have to create new language. Anytime we use the old language from the old systems, we are playing that game, and we are just not interested in playing the game of division and separation. We are here for interconnection and unity as sovereign spirits. Next, another branch of intuition is sensing what someone else is thinking. Remember, how is this possible? We are all connected to the collective consciousness as sovereign spirits, by the way. So we can sometimes pick up what another individual is thinking or processing as well. So that's another branch. Another branch of intuition is precognition, seeing something before it happens in our external world. So you can see this internally in a deep level of relaxation, sometimes referred to as meditation, but some get precognitive visions in their dreams as they sleep at night, and they awaken, and sometime in the future, those visions come to be. So precognition, I've known many who've experienced this, by the way, and I have personally experienced it as well. So that is another branch that many can resonate with. A few more is receiving messages from the afterlife, the spirit realm, our true home and origin. So in my family, out of my siblings, I'm the one who, the family in the afterlife, either the human or the animal family, comes to visit to let me know that they're in a great place, they're very much alive, and they want to help and work with us down here on the earth realm. So they're not dead. The words dead, died, dying, death, obsolete in the QuantumUnity of CARALOT, because they transition, they go back home to the spirit realm. So we can receive messages from our loved ones, animal, human form, in the spirit realm. And some of us can do this at the regular level, waking level of consciousness. And sometimes it happens when we sleep at night as well. So another fascinating branch of intuition is called psychometry. Now, you may have heard of psychometry. So you're able to hold an object and get impressions of someone else who owned it or someone who currently owns it. Now, it's really fascinating. Some in the archaeological world who go to excavate sites, they often bring some who have this ability to do psychometry. So they find an artifact and they hand it over to the person with sovereign spirit with very powerful intuition, and they can hold it and get some sort of sense of the history of that artifact. Very, very fascinating. And lastly, one other branch of intuition that some have developed is being able to see inside the physical being, the human physical being of another sovereign spirit. So see inside physical beings and see if there's a malfunction, if there's energy blockages, if one of the organs is not functioning properly, or there's some other malfunction or energy blockage, often referred to as medical intuition. So this is something that you can take classes on. And in regards to intuition as a whole, the QuantumUnity of CARALOT's upcoming Educare system for the female experience, the male experience, the teens experience, the children's experience, the seniors experience, and a lot more is going to be offering intuitive development courses online and eventually in person. Because remember, the QuantumUnity of CARALOT, number one, is helping us to form organized unity consciousness. And on top of that, one of its primary missions is to provide you with all the resources and the wisdom and the tools to help you to not just fulfill your divine life purpose, but to optimize and maximize your divine life purpose as a sovereign spirit from the spirit realm who's chosen to come to the earth realm to fulfill a divine life purpose. Remember, we all share the same general divine life purpose, making this earth realm a more loving, interconnected, beautiful place. However, how we do that is unique to our own individual selves as sovereign spirits, not as humans, as sovereign spirits. Unique, individual, multidimensional sovereign spirits. So again, Portal 21 of spiritual sovereignty. As sovereign spirits, we acknowledge intuition as a natural sense just as important as our 5 basic earth realm senses. And just to go a little step beyond that, as sovereign spirits, we acknowledge intuition as our first primary sense as well. So again, if you're not familiar with the 30 portals of spiritual sovereignty, go back to some previous videos on this channel. You can also invest and read the book, Spiritual Sovereignty, A Path to Unity Consciousness. The link to order that book is in the description below. Very grateful you've tuned in to watch this podcast to explore how you as a sovereign spirit have intuition. And the more we understand it, the better we can apply it to fulfill our divine life purpose. So my name is James T. Griffin, founder, creator of the QuantumUnity of CARALOT. Very grateful for you tuning in. Create yourself a beautiful day. I'll see you at the upcoming videos. And as I like to finish all my videos, always and forever,